Hello, welcome to IASC Hot Ones, which is the challenge where we consume consecutively increasing hot sauces while I interview an IASC alumnus. Today we have Patrick Stuff with us. He graduated in the fall of 2020. He's currently working as a consultant for Invista. Welcome, Patrick.
Thanks, Matt. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I am personally am nervous for what's about to happen.
Oh, I'm absolutely terrified. I'm
Well,
not ready for this.
let's begin.
All right.
Give yourself a wing here. Well, we're starting with heartbeat. Doesn't mean anything to me, but yeah.
Let's go for it.
All right, here we go. We'll ask you the first question once we both consume these
That
wings.
is a bold dip. I think I'm going to start it off a little bit lighter.
All right, Patrick.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Hit the back of my throat a little bit. What has been the best thing about starting full time after graduation from Purdue?
I think the best thing is that you can kind of get into a routine. Like in college, you're used to studying hard all the time, not really having breaks. I love being able to have the personal responsibility to have like a really high role and a lot of responsibility at work, but then also have my time after work to go do other things. Like I'm coaching high school cross country and track. I can have some hobbies on the side, and I can still wake up excited to go to work the next day.
Right, there's also not that like low level of stress just consistently throughout
Right.
every day. You go to bed like 1 a.m. and you're like, wow, I should have done more today.
That hard exam that's 2.5 weeks out in the back
Right,
of my mind.
and you're just sitting
thinking,
there thinking about it, about like, how am I going to do in that exam? Exactly.
like, yeah.
All right, well, we're now going to move on to the next hot sauce. Not super sure. This one is called Son of a Zombie. So get excited.
I will warn, I did have Chick-fil-A for lunch right before this, so I might not eat the whole wing every time because I'm already pretty full.
That is okay.
All right, that was a lot more sauce than I
That's
wanted.
okay. We're here to sweat, Patrick. I'm also going to go for it here.
One's a little sweeter, which scares me.
It makes me nervous how fast we're doing these.
It'll take some
We
time
can slow down.
to really enjoy the heat.
That one again wasn't all that bad. I am starting to.
The fact that I feel the second one, though,
There's
does
some-
not bode well for
There's
number
some.
5 and
That was
6.
number 2. We do in fact have 4 more to go. So tread lightly.
All right.
As a new member of your company, have you been able to take ownership of your own work stream, or have you had to take more backseat roles?
Yeah, I think I've had a lot of responsibility. Kind of the way my team works is that they know that we have a lot of high-performing workers on the team, and so I get to set my own tasks, control my own schedule, and then, we have the responsibility to hold to certain deadlines at the end of the quarter, and I get to figure out, like, what do I need to get done to make that happen. So I think it helps that, I interned in Invista too, so even though I've only been full-time for just under a year now, I've really been with the company for 2 years. So
Right.
they look at me as, part of the team and somebody that can really contribute.
Were they able to give you bigger and more important projects since you interned with them for that first round? Like they knew who you were,
Yeah.
and then you came in being able to do more high-level performance?
Yeah, especially since I interned on the same project with the same client that I'm on now. The client, had respect for the type of work that I did, understood that I could really dive into the technical aspects of a role as well. So I've worked at the higher level strategy level, but I also have done like technical coding, dashboard reporting, building out KPIs, things like that. That takes a little bit more insight into the details of the project.
Right. That's really cool. It's cool that you really got to jump in there and head first and start working on stuff. All right. Well, number 3.
Oh boy, this is the one where it gets real.
I'm just gonna go for it.
Black garlic Carolina Reaper. Oh, it's vegan and gluten-free. And blazing. All right.
That one was a little bit hotter, which I guess would make sense, but it hurt a little bit.
And sour too.
What is your favorite thing about the city that you're working in right now? I believe you're in Carmel.
Yeah, so I'm in Carmel, which is just north of Indianapolis. I actually grew up in Zionsville, which is about 15 minutes from there. And so I love the fact that I'm close enough to home that I can go visit my family on the weekends, hang out with my little sister. But also there's a lot to do in the area that I'm at. We live in a little village that's almost an isolated town all on its own. Like, if we had a grocery store and a gas station, I'd never have to leave a 1 mile radius of my apartment.
Wow.
So we've got restaurants, breweries, dentist office, a barber shop, the works all around us. And also just you're close enough to Indianapolis, you can go and enjoy seeing the city and doing some of those things as well.
When you were in undergrad, did you envision yourself going and staying around the Indianapolis area, like Carmel, Zionsville, something like that, or was that something that just kind of wound up happening?
Actually, when I was applying for jobs, and people asked like, where is your ideal location? I said anywhere outside the Midwest. I kind of really wanted to get out and enjoy something else, but I landed the perfect job. That I really liked the people I worked with, liked the role that I was in. It was close to home, and it just made sense. It just lined up perfectly for me. So, couldn't have been happier with where I ended up.
That is really cool.
That's starting to hit.
That one, I'm sitting here. I'm in a little bit of pain over here with myself. Shall we?
No. Okay, fine.
Patrick, give this one a little bit more hefty of a dunk.
Do I start with a new wing or just use an old one?
You can just. This is your show.
We're going all in. Okay.
That one almost was a little bit better than that one. In my humble
Don't speak
opinion.
too soon. Some of these hit later.
I am starting to sweat.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick. So on the Hot One show, they do this feature where they do a deep dive onto the interviewee's Instagram and ask the interviewee what is going on in this picture. So for Patrick, we have this picture. Could you please describe to us the scenario and any story that goes along with this picture?
Yeah, so this picture is a picture of me and the group that I went on a study abroad with. So I did a study abroad in Mallorca, Spain for about 6 weeks. And every other weekend we had the ability to travel on our own across Europe. And so I went to Dublin, Paris, and Munich on those 3 weekends. And this is from Dublin when we went to go to the Cliffs of Moher, actually. We took a bus ride all the way across Ireland. So we started in Dublin, took it all the way to the Cliffs of Moher, which is on the opposite side of Ireland. And then we just caught a perfect weather day. So this is me and all of us holding up a Purdue flag on top of a castle overlooking these like 300-meter tall cliffs. One of the most surreal experiences of my entire life. Like we just sat there and didn't talk for half an hour. It was just
taking it all in.
Yeah, look over. It's just think about how small you are compared to everything.
Right.
It was, and the coolest part was we went to the castle first, and we're like, oh, these are kind of high. And then we walked around to the opposite side and looked at the castle, and it looked like it was about like a Lego castle sitting on top of a cliff on the other side. And that's when we realized just how high the cliffs really are.
Wow.
So it was a really cool trip.
Was that, so you said it was in Mallorca, Spain, but you got to travel around. Which one of those locations that you got to travel to was your favorite?
I think we went to Barcelona for a weekend as well. And we got to go see the Sagrada Familia, and we got to go look at all the architecture. I was there for my Spanish minor. I was finishing out my Spanish minor.
Okay.
And so we were taking a lot of Spanish art classes and Spanish architecture. And so being able to experience that like actually in Spain rather than just taking it in a classroom setting at Purdue, I think that really elevated the educational experience there.
That's really cool. Would you recommend that everyone does a study abroad for especially the younger freshman, sophomore situation?
Absolutely. I think that if you are given the opportunity to, take a couple classes to ease your course load during the semester, and then also gain that cultural experience and go meet people who have different life experiences, different backgrounds, it's really valuable because, we get in a very big bubble in the United States where you've only met people who have similar perspective on life, and when you go talk to people from a different area, they have completely different traditions, it gives you a different perspective on a lot of things.
That is one thing that I wish that I could go back and change about my college experience is to be able to study abroad. That was something that I never got to do. So, very jealous of your stories and time over there.
Yep, it was a good time.
You ready?
All right, let's look into this one. This one is
It's Hellfire. It says Hellfire.
hot sauce. Fiery Fool, the hottest sauce in the world without extract. So that
don't know
must
what
have
that
extract. Shake well. We're drinking it out of that.
Yeah, we are. If you want, you could give it a little spin. We should go for a full dunk on this one because this one is going to hurt.
I think that's gonna hurt more if we go for a full dunk, but
I think we have to just go for it
We're doing it.
this. You only live life once.
cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, that one. I'm gonna ask these questions so I don't have to talk anymore. What are your top What are your top tips for maintaining a healthy work from home routine with COVID and the new way that the industry kind of works?
Avoiding these hot wings. Just kidding. I really think it's just like figuring out what routine works for you. So like when I first started working, I didn't really have a workspace set up. Just kind of worked from my kitchen table or in my room, and it's really hard to get focused and productive when you do that. You want to have like a separate area. This is really hot.
This one is a lot more to handle.
You want to be able to have a space that's dedicated for work, and that you know I'm going to be productive when I'm here, to get things done, and then you don't want to be in that space when you're not working, because it's really hard, especially working from home. Oh, this is really hot. To like get out of that work mindset at 7, 8, 9 p.m. Like it's really easy to just be connected to it all day long. And the other thing is like have something to do after work as well. Coaching has really helped me find something that I'm passionate about, find something I enjoy, and you can connect with people doing something like that too.
And it like gets you out of the house a little bit, like doesn't, so you're not in that same space just consistently.
And it gives me a hard cutoff where I can tell myself, hey, you need to like, you know, cut off work, go do this.
I think I need to go dive into
get to the next thing. You know?
That is really cool. Have you been able to go into the office at all recently, or has it been 100% virtual for?
I'm 100% virtual through at least July. And the cool thing about Invista is that we were very remote before COVID, so I'll probably be remote even afterwards.
Do you like that, or is it, that's something that you kind of miss, being able to go into the office? And
my manager actually lives in England, and a lot of my team members live in Maryland, Minneapolis, Chicago, North Carolina. So it's, you know, I like having it all over the country, but the thing I miss most was the travel. When we could all travel to one place and meet up and, you know, meet at the client site and hang out after work. I don't get that anymore. And my eyes are starting to tear up a little bit.
I'm sweating. I'm starting to sweat
in on that for in the post production.
The outtakes of us just bawling. All right, Patrick, we have reached the final hot sauce. I will say that I've tried this one and it tastes nothing short of battery acid.
Oh man. And you probably did it on a clean palate as well.
I did it on a clean palate, and it was on a Tostitos chip with like a couple of drops when I finished half a pint of milk.
Maybe the chicken will like help dilute it a little bit.
We can hope.
There's zero scientific evidence to back that up. That's just my hope.
Well, we're gonna do 2 questions on the final hot sauce just to make it interesting. Once we decide to do it, I'm gonna take a moment.
All right.
I'm feeling okay now. It's kind of subsided ever so
slightly. You're from Nashville. You've had hot sauce before.
I am.
I'm from Indianapolis.
You guys not big hot sauce people up here?
We aren't. I'm still feeling on the roof of the mouth. The tongue's getting better, but the roof is getting worse. All right. I think we just have to dive in.
I think we do too. I think we have to go for maybe not a hearty dunk, but a genuine dunk.
They call it the last dab. You got to put at least a dab on there, you know?
No, this is the bomb.
Oh, you're right. This is one level lower.
One.
I can feel the sinuses clearing out. All right, let's go for it. I'm letting you go first.
You're gonna let me go first?
As the interviewer,
you have to
hold your composure.
You have to match the dab.
All right. I think that's all.
Go just a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. I'll do the same. Should I get more? What do you think?
I think that's plenty.
Okay.
That might send you to your grave.
All right. Here we go. We have 2 questions following these wings.
All right.
Cheers. All right, Patrick. What do you miss most about being at Purdue and in undergrad?
It's a great question, Matt.
Thank you.
It's snot pours from my face.
I'm really starting to get sweaty.
The thing I miss most is the people. Purdue is full of a lot of really talented, really smart kids, and who have, you know, great career paths ahead of them, but are even better people just to know and associate with and spend time with. And that's the thing I miss the most, is we were surrounded by a bunch of high achievers that had the same goals and aspirations as I did. And once you go off into the workforce, you know, you're working with people from anywhere from your age to like 65. it's harder to find a social life, especially now in the times of COVID. So I missed being able to just do things like this, hang out.
Just dumb things.
Yeah, make bad decisions that you're gonna regret, like eating 6 hot chicken wings. Just kidding on that one, but no. In all
This one
seriousness,
seems to
just-
compound and
I miss
gets worse.
ISE. I miss the people there. So, thank you guys for asking me on the show. I really am. I'm glad you did, even though it may not look like that right now. So, I can like feel it in my ear.
My like knee pits are sweating.
I'm seeing colors.
That's, I'm seeing sounds. All right, one final question. What are some of the most useful skills that you have developed on the job that you didn't have before?
The biggest software that I picked up is Tableau. I've been working on that a ton. And Alteryx, data processing, data manipulation. A lot of my work is in validating new data sets that never existed before and connecting the pipelines from our clients or our suppliers and our distributors so that we can receive that data and run some really cool analytics on it. And being able to take a process that our client is pretty state of the art. They're kind of cutting edge, leading their industry in this type of work. And so being able to take a process and kind of fine tune it and know that it's going to be like kind of a best in class relative to everybody else in their industry has been really cool. But yeah, we've been picking up, like I said, the technical aspects, the coding, the connecting the dots on the back end, so that the product is usable and very intuitive and easy for a business mind to use.
Do you think it would have been beneficial to have some exposure to that during your time in undergrad, or do you think it was enough to learn it on the job?
I think it was okay to learn on the job. I think one of the things about undergrad is it teaches you how to be a critical thinker and how to be a problem solver. But anything that you're going to need to know in your job, it's on your employer to train you and make sure that you are up to speed on those technical skill sets. Not everybody is going to come out of college with every experience with every coding language that ever exists, but the fact that you got that experience and know how to use some makes it a lot easier to learn more in the future.
Especially once you've had 332 and had that trial by fire experience.
332, I think I learned 7 programming languages in a month and a half. So coming into work and learning 2 over the course of 6 months was a no-brainer.
Right.
Very easy to do.
Well, Patrick, that comes to the end of our questions. Thank you so much for coming. I apologize for the
Thanks
pain
for
that we
having
put
me.
you through, but let me tell you what, I'm right there with you.
So, well, thanks for having me. I really
Thank you for coming,
appreciate it.
Patrick. We'll see you next time.